All right, what it do, everybody? I'm coming to you here on a Tuesday night. Uh, Discuss some current topics as I like to do on these lives. It's pretty much the theme of the podcast as well, but especially on these lives, just get to you the current news, breaking shit that happened last day or two, that everyone's talking about. Give my input on it, and hopefully get y'all's guys' input too. Get y'all in the chat, and just kind of talk our shit, give our input. Everyone's already buzzing about it. So today the big thing was, for about an hour, my friend had told me, because I was at work, so I knew what was going on kind of, but I wasn't privy to all the little details. But if you see the showrunner, the title, you know that, and shit, everyone knows anyway. Facebook and Instagram, and I'm not sure what else, but for sure those two were down for about an hour today. So everyone was trying to log on, and like I said, during this time, I wasn't on social media, so I didn't experience it really. But my friend was telling me everyone was trying to log on, and for about an hour, no dice. So everyone was thinking like, did I get hacked? Facebook down or whatever. But then it came out that Facebook and Instagram and maybe one other site, but I think those two are the main ones that got hacked. Um, and the big kicker is this is within 2 weeks from the cell phone outage, where the three big companies Verizon, T-Mobile, and AT&T were down for uh, about 4 or 5 hours, if not more, like half a day of the morning. So these two events happen within 2 weeks of each other, and so I don't think this is a coincidence. I don't think anyone else really does either at this point. So you know, let's talk about it. I'm gonna go slow, do some research, pull up some websites, read some articles, get some input, and just kind of take it slow, see what everyone has to think, and yeah, this is crazy. Uh, do y'all think this is like, we'll get into it, but I want to see if y'all think this is U.S. independent people, foreign government. What do we think? Aliens? What are y'all thinking? Uh, so yeah, let's get into it. But as always, I'm gonna check the quality of the stream, video, audio, make sure everything's chugging along before I really hop into it. So I'm gonna check that. If y'all bear with me for 30 seconds or a minute, and then we can kind of get rolling with like research and just get into the topic. So give me a second. If y'all are in the chat, let me know how everything is, or whatever. Hey, what's up, everybody in the chat? What do y'all think about everything? Uh, let's go and let me check the audio real quick. All right, so everything looks to be good. Kind of get into it. Uh, I had something pulled up earlier on my phone. Let me try to. Here we go. Let me send this. This is CNBC. Gonna be today, obviously. Published at 10:48. Updated at about 12:54. Gonna send this over to myself real quick and pull it up on the screen. We can go through it together and just kind of get into it. It's interesting. Um, I've seen news articles and stuff that say like um, solar flare, like the sun's gonna be having solar flares, this day and this day, or but this week. So if you have cell phone outages or something during this time, that's what it is. I haven't heard anything like that in years. But you used to hear about it every so often, like a little news article or whatever would come up, and you'd think, okay, whatever. Um, I haven't seen anything like that in a while. Um, so I don't think it's that. Um, the aliens thing, maybe. I have my own thoughts and ideas about the whole alien thing. But that definitely maybe could play into it. Um, you don't hear nothing about that, even though the government seems to be more and more willing to talk about aliens now than ever. Um, I don't know why aliens would have interest in social media though. Um, I think it's more than likely a government or like a individual like group of hackers like anonymous or something. I don't know how legitimate that really is. I would say in my mind not. That'd be a good debate to have. How legitimate is anonymous? Um, More than likely, I don't know why the US government would I could see them doing some weird stuff with like the power and the grid and such, but I was almost gonna say like if they were gonna do it, it would be more serious or for a longer amount of time. But this could be like a test or like a preamble. But I really think the most likely thing is like a foreign government tried to like I don't know get some kind of information. They always talk about in these big hearings, congressional hearings, data mining and shit like that, where they're selling our info. So you wonder if some country maybe tried to data mine without doing the right avenues and like paying the right people, or I wonder if like a country that's big that usually data mines that we know about tried to subvert shit to do it, or if like a small country that like doesn't have the power and technology tried to use like a real what am I trying to say like a piratey like just more barbaric not trying to like shit on anybody but just like they don't have I don't even know about technology on like high government levels, but like let's just say, U.S., China, Russia, whoever have the technology to build rockets and nuclear power and go to space and all these things. There might be other countries that have the internet and computers and stuff, but it might be like me in my living room right now trying to hack something times 10. That's what a small government would be versus like I feel like someone like Russia, China could maybe get a little bit more done with this, but maybe not. What do y'all think? Get in the comments. Um, I don't know. It's interesting. It's interesting that this happened only 2 weeks after the cell phone thing. I think it would be kind of foolish to think they're mutually exclusive. Um, One way or another, you gotta say to yourself like security is not what we wish it would be. Um, with that being said, we bank online, so it's one of these weird things like we everyone's about their money, so we have no problem banking online with thousands of dollars, transfer this, transfer that, buy Bitcoin, Cash App, blah blah blah, digital money, all this shit, fast, 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 fast. It's like if online secure or not, or I'm probably naive and like the way banking is secured is like a lot more on the up and up and like probably encrypted and all this lingo that I don't know, but like banking is probably so much more in depth secure, we would hope, than Facebook, Twitter, and whatever. Because here's the thing, I'll read this article that I was talking about. We can do more research and discuss and flesh it out, but like we don't know what was hacked to cause this shutdown, and therefore the security for what they hacked. They're not hacking. They didn't hack my account or your account, or I don't think. I don't think they hacked individual accounts. Again, we need to do our research here in a minute. I'm gonna pull up an article. I don't think they hacked individual accounts. I believe they hacked like the mainframe. That's why the whole thing shut down for everyone. What um what capabilities cause that? And this is when you start looking at a story like this and you start trying to get down to the nitty gritty of like these details that I'm fleshing out to really find out the roots of the story and what real impact it's going to have. A lot of times you have a hard time finding the nitty gritty details. And then a lot of times it's stuff that would need to be researched or like, just research or a little data collected over time. Well, a story moves 2-3 weeks down the road. By the time they would have had time to collect the data and make an observation and get back to us, we don't even give a fuck anymore. So, anyway, we'll see what we can find out with these articles. I'm gonna check the chat, see if anyone has anything to say, and maybe see if a few homies or something want to call in. Anyway, we'll see what we can find out with these articles. Sorry about that. Go. Let's see. So let's see. Let me pull up this article. Let's see. Okay. Let me hold on. Okay. Here we go. So, as I was saying earlier, published today, updated, 3 hours later, or two. Um, so it was Meta. That's what I was looking for, but I kind of forgot that they even had that name. Meta, which is Facebook and Instagram, and Threads, which I'm not really even sure what the hell that is, are back online. So Meta's social media platforms, Instagram, Facebook, and Threads are back online after the platforms were down for many users Tuesday morning. Facebook and Threads were not loading as of 10 Eastern when reports of the outage started to surface on downdetector.com. So Central Time, where I am here in Texas, that'd be about 11 o'clock. Service appeared to be restored around 12 p.m. Eastern, which would be around 1 here, so 2 hours. Instagram feeds weren't refreshing for some users, and others couldn't access the app. Meta's social media platforms, Instagram, Facebook, and Threads, are back on blah, blah, blah. Facebook and Threads seem to be particularly affected. Neither app was loading when reports of the outage started to surface. Instagram feeds weren't refreshing. So mostly seemed like Facebook couldn't log in. Earlier today, a technical issue caused people to have difficulty accessing some of our services. We resolved the issue as quickly as possible for everyone who was impacted, and we apologize for any inconvenience. Meta spokesperson Andy Stone wrote in a post on the social media site X on Tuesday. And it's just like, at this point, an AI's shit stain could write an apology like this. I mean, it's like, why even put one out? Like, what the fuck happened? Tell us what happened. I can write an apology. A first grader can write this apology. John Morant can write this apology. Give us something. The outages occurred on the same day as the Super Tuesday presidential primaries. And that's what I was thinking earlier, that I'm so glad. Shout out to whoever wrote this fucking article. Ashley Kaput. Hope I didn't butcher your last name there. I was thinking that this just so happened to be on the election Tuesday, and I was thinking about calling someone because I'm so anti like voting, and like I love to discuss. Hold on, I got this mic. Sorry, I hope that didn't screw the whole setup. Let me. Okay. Yeah, so I'm so like anti-political, and like I love politics and to talk about them and debate them and try to prove people wrong and hear out different points of view and all that kind of stuff. But I don't vote. Like I'm anti-voting, and I'm just don't I don't I don't mess with that stuff. So I love to discuss policies, what's going on, stay in the know, try to change people's minds, etc. But as far as like knowing what they vote for, hold on. As far as knowing what the heck they vote on, like today, Super Tuesday, I don't know. So I was gonna call someone and get the down low on that, but it's just so interesting that this did happen on same day as a big thing when it comes to the president. I'm gonna read ahead, and maybe we'll even do some research and educate my ignorant ass on what the hell they voted on today. So maybe that'll be a follow up to this because it's just kind of strange they happened on the same day. So all right, let me continue reading. The outages occurred on the same day as Super Tuesday presidential primaries in the U.S., when 16 states and one territory head to the polls. Now, okay, it's primary. So this just decides who gets the primary, I believe. Here's the thing I'm having a question now. I thought that the party had to give their nomination to someone, but then yet I'm figuring out the primaries also play into that as well. So it's like if you don't, I don't know how it goes. Like, what's the? I guess I'm finding all these questions that I need to research. But like, if you do one of the primaries, you pretty much get rid of the competition. Your party has like no choice but to give you the nomination. It's like this is so weird. I don't understand. I think that's kind of the point, though. No one's supposed to fully understand it. Anyway, the outages occurred the same day as the Super Tuesday presidential primaries in the U.S., when 16 states and one territory headed to the polls. The disruptions presented a problem for the presidential campaigns, which rely heavily on platforms such as Facebook and Instagram to reach voters. Oh, I bet. I wonder who it was worse for, though. Is there any way to even tell that? The hashtags Instagram down and Facebook outage were trending on X Tuesday morning. Shares of Meta were down more than 1%. Additionally, Meta is experiencing major disruptions across its Meta Admin Center, Facebook and Instagram shops, and WhatsApp Business API, according to a company website that tracks the status of its business products. Its ads manager, Meta Business Suite, Facebook Login, Graph API, and Marketing API were all recovering from disruptions as of 12 p.m. Eastern. Google's YouTube also confirmed some of its users were experiencing problems Tuesday, such as loading issues, blank homepage, and errors while attempting to play YouTube Shorts. The YouTube directed users to follow its help community post for more details, according to a post on X. Some users were also having trouble with Google's Gmail, according to a company. Users may experience delays with company status dashboard. Many users experience delays with email delivery, the dashboard said. It's unclear if these problems are related to the outages at Meta. Meta's services disruptions follow a major outage in 2021 when Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp were down for more than 6 hours. At the time, Facebook, now Meta, said the outage was caused by configuration changes on backbone routers. So I vaguely remember that. But yeah, so I don't know. What do y'all think? Uh, that's just a news article, but it just kind of gave us the facts they had. Um, it didn't really. This is one of those things like all the nitty gritty facts that I was outlining earlier. Like, I doubt they were attacking independent, individual people, but what had to get attacked for this to happen, and therefore what security is that, and who has the capability of doing that. Of course, these are like obvious questions that an investigator is going to want to know and can like really number down who did it, and they're probably not going to release that to the general public until like we don't care anymore. So it's up to us to speculate, but I just wonder. It is interesting that YouTube was down for a little bit. Gmail had issues. Twitter seemed to be fine. Fucking Elon pumping strong. Um, Kind of interesting. Uh, but I don't think Google and YouTube were as affected because then the story would have been about them. The story wasn't. They were just kind of added in the story. So it's interesting though. Why were they affected at all if it was like a hack of Meta? So unless we just don't understand how these things work. What if there's like a main server for the U.S. that those two things occupy, and it was under stress or attacked, and they both responded poorly or something? Who knows? Um, I don't know. What do y'all think? I damn sure don't think it was no aliens. Um, I don't know. It's an interesting year. This year is gonna be a big year for like chaos and like I've been hearing from a lot of people recently, and like everyone kind of has their own way of saying it, but like everyone kind of feels that like the energy is off with people and like with things in the world, and like how do I describe it? Some people have told me like their focus is off. They're having a hard time concentrating. Uh, I've kind of put it in the way of like it seems like it's harder for people to like be calm or like be just focused on themselves. Everyone just seems like a little more frustrated with things than they should be or normally are. Um, I feel like everyone just kind of feels like things are on edge, and the stakes for things are higher this year, if that makes sense. Like I don't know. Um, just the presidential election and things are. I mean, that's just one thing, but that's crazy. Um, the cyber attacks, AI is being pushed so fast, and we know like little to nothing about it. Um, and then you pair that with like robotics too, which are kind of two separate things, but we almost can see the marriage that's gonna happen there. Um, so yeah, it just makes you wonder like we're not even a quarter through this year. We will be, I guess, at the end of this month. Um, and we've already had the cell phone outage and now this. And I'm trying to think if there's been anything else that was real. Um, the only other thing this year that's been real crazy big was like the Cat Williams thing, and that doesn't relate to this at all. Um, so yeah, it'll just be interesting. What if the internet goes I mean that's like craziness, but what if the internet goes down for a little while during an election or like during a news cycle, or you know I don't know, what if these social media things all go down during election day and that causes some stir, um or they're not able to get accurate media coverage or something because the internet's down, you know uh that's a fucking real terrorist attack when something crazy happens and the internet's down, so we can't report about it or know what the hell's going on. That'd be like the double whammy from hell. So, this is like a small taste of that. But I don't know. This is just crazy, man. Just a little update. I know I promised the Cat Williams Joe Rogan thing. I don't know who's still interested in that. If anybody, um, I've been watching it. Like I watched a little bit at work today and yesterday. Um, but I tried to go live and stream it how I did the David Lucas and Willie D thing, where I could kind of watch the whole episode with y'all, stop it as I wanted to, give commentary. But I think there was like a 3 minute clip where I didn't say anything and didn't pause it, and Joe took that shit down. The Joe Rogan Cat Williams thing got me done. So I'm gonna have to watch the whole interview and find the spots and pick my spots. I can't just watch it with y'all and pause it and commentate. I'm gonna have to find the spots beforehand and 30 seconds here, minute here, 30 seconds here, give my commentary and kind of go through it with y'all. But let me know if y'all are still interested in that, if y'all really even give a fuck. Um, I'm kind of back and forth. I feel like if there's enough good stuff to say, it could be good. But if it's just like then I feel like we live in a time where a week or two down the road, no one cares. Um, like uh, to hit that home maybe a little bit, Cat Williams I saw is filming a Netflix special, I believe, this summer in LA. And it's almost like to get people excited for him again and ramped up, he's doing the Shannon Sharp thing at the beginning of the year. Now he's hitting with Joe Rogan again. And now we have April, May, June, maybe 3 or 4 months, and he's going to be doing a special. But he had two big things back to back. So it's like, damn, this first, quarter, if not 6 months, we're really focused on Cat Williams on the entertainment side of things. So smart move by him. I'm surprised these big heavy hitters such as Joe Rogan and Shannon Sharp were so like eager to have him. I mean, I kind of see it, kind of don't. Um, I don't know. It just makes you wonder if they're all part of the same club, which I kind of think they all are. And it really makes me wonder, like, what role is Cat Williams playing right now? Um, I don't know. I'm skeptical. I always am. But I don't know. That's kind of off topic. But that's just the only other big thing that like has taken over the news this year that I can think of. But I guess Joey or anybody else, if y'all are tuning in, y'all want to give me a shout, call in. Y'all can discuss, give y'all's opinion on Josh. If you want to call in, we can just kind of go over it and give our, shoot the shit. Um, Other than that, I might kind of get off. I don't, have a whole lot. I might try to find another article. I feel like I said, when you really try to find the hard facts, it's not out there until it's like no one cares anymore, if then. So, I'm gonna let me see if I can find another article. Um, let's see. Let me see. What's been going on with the NBA? It's kind of a side note. Let me look up. Let me. I have not been up on it, and that's one of the my guilty pleasures, I guess, if you want to call it that. I saw the Spurs. They got crushed by the Rockets, 101 to 114. Wimby's been on a tear though. I saw a stat line of like the last 10 games. He's been just going crazy. I think he's got like 5 blocks several times within the past 5 or 10 games, and I think he had a 10 block game as well. Um, Crazy. He's crazy. Spurs are dead last though in the West. Damn, the Timberwolves, after having it rough for so long, are number one in the West. That's crazy. And the Mavericks are eighth. Damn, crazy. The East, man, the Pistons, the Wizards, and the Hornets have been trash, and the Nets. The East has not changed, bro. Hardly. It has a little bit. The Bucks used to be trash, but the East has not changed. The West has though, kind of, but it's still super competitive. But yeah, let's see. The eighth place Mavericks are only 9 games behind first place in the West, and in the East, the eighth place Pacers are 14 games behind the first place Celtics. So just a little bit of competitive comparison right there. Just looking at some of the news here on NBA and seeing if there's any like headlines worth clicking on, but all right, well, uh, okay. Let me see if let's see. Mm, Cybersecurity expert Matthew Green said the outage appeared to go beyond Meta. This is from The Hill. What caused Facebook and Instagram outages by Alex Martichow and Addie Bink. Shout out to them. About halfway down the article, there are a number of services having trouble with at least parts of their systems, particularly the ability to log into websites, said Green, an associate professor of computer science and member of the Johns Hopkins University Information Security Institute. This may indicate a common cause, like a failure at a major cloud services provider. That's kind of what I was getting at earlier. Is this like a thing that's like, because these are major websites, something about their avenue of travel in the U.S. And that guy was saying along the same thing, but he has more insight, obviously. He goes on, at the moment, nobody knows exactly what's happening. Go figure. A senior official with the U.S. Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency told reporters Tuesday that the agency was not aware of any specific election nexus nor any specific malicious cyber activity nexus to the outage. Voters in more than a dozen states will head to the polls Tuesday for Super Tuesday primary elections. The outage comes ahead of Thursday's deadline for big tech companies to comply with the European Union's new Digital Markets Act. Never heard of that. To comply, Meta is making changes like allowing users to separate their Facebook and Instagram accounts so personal information can't be combined to target them with online ads. It's not clear whether the outage is connected to any preparations Meta might be carrying out for the DMA. That's a good point that I didn't know anything about. And let me pull this article up so y'all can get a look at it. Might as well, huh? We got some decent information, some of those nitty gritty details that I was looking for. Hold on, I'm gonna get this article up for y'all real quick. I think I might be at the end of it, but it won't hurt. So here we go. Got it up for y'all. Make myself a little smaller. Y'all can let's take a look at this together. So I was already reading some of this about the half. Get out of here. About the halfway down point. Because some of this other stuff was info we got on the other from the other article. See, blah blah blah. Can y'all see that when I highlight? Yeah, cool. just read here a minute ago. And then this article ends saying a similar thing to the other article that I read, saying in 2021, Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp were down for hours. An outage that the company said was a result of faulty changes on routers that coordinate the network traffic between its data centers. An outage the company said was a result of faulty changes on routers. What is a faulty change? The next year, WhatsApp had another brief outage. Nexstar reached out to Meta, blah, blah, blah. Okay. I don't know why it says Nexstar if this is an article on The Hill. I don't know if that's tied in or evidently. So, I almost want to watch this, but I don't want to get this video taken down. It's only a minute. Let me get my headphones and then we can watch this little clip.
Again, tapping on the message would take them to a login screen. You're probably not watching this video on Facebook, Instagram, Messenger, or Threads because all sites reportedly went down Tuesday morning shortly after 9 Central, this according to Down Detector. Important note, all 4 services are owned by Meta. On mobile, Facebook users were met with a pop-up reading, quote, "Session expired, please log in again." Tapping on the message would take them to a login screen where users reported seeing a message reading, quote, "Unable to log in, an unexpected error occurred. Please try logging in again." When trying to log in on a web browser, Facebook users were wrongly told the, quote, "Password you've entered is incorrect," quote. Those trying to access Facebook Messenger encountered the same situation. On Instagram, users have been able to access most content, but received a notification in their timeline that the feed could not be refreshed. When trying to access Instagram online, a message of, quote, "Something went wrong," appeared. At the time of this video's creations, all sites were still down, and it was unclear what was causing the outage.
Have myself muted like a dumbass. Yeah, it's funny that he went on X to, I mean, you know, whatever. Sign of the times, I guess. But yeah, they're definitely downplaying this as much as possible and just kind of being pretty vague. Huh. Yeah, it seems to be like some sort of a major like bandwidth or cloud issue. Um, but yeah, that was a good point brought up in the article that maybe because Facebook's having to make this weird thing with Instagram where they're having to like completely separate the two. Like if you have a profile on both, they have to separate your information so that they can't be targeted by ads. Maybe they're having to separate a bunch of users' accounts, and that's really putting stress on their servers and stuff. Um, we just technology has been like, you know, technology improves so fast, and um, a lot of us have most of our adult life we have not been without the internet, so we think the internet is infallible, and technology moves so fast that it never fails, and when it does, we're just like, oh, what the hell? It's like, you know, every now and then, you know, shit goes wrong. You get a nail in your tire, the lead in your pencil breaks or something, and you know, I mean, this is not physical, but you get it. Yeah, I don't know. I just we're so tapped in with social media too. Like even if you're not literally on social media all day, people are checking it once an hour, once every 30 minutes, whatever, whatever. Like people know how quickly this shit goes down, and that's also a good point that I would like to kind of propose and just question like how quickly I wonder did the average person realize that this was going on. You know what I mean? I didn't even realize it at all until like several hours later. Probably when I was, 3 or 4 or 5 o'clock when I was getting ready to wind down for the day at work. Like I had no clue, and I think at some point after lunch I got on Facebook and it was working, so I just didn't even think about anything of it. And then I started seeing people post about it and blah blah blah. So, but yeah, I was just curious. Like we're all so tapped in. I wonder how long it took everybody. Some people probably 5 minutes. Some people I didn't even know, But it's just one of those things. Everyone's so tapped in, and that's how we get all our information from. Um, I mean, of course, texting is still huge, but that's how we still get a lot of our information from friends, seeing what they're doing, activities, get-togethers, family, pictures, all blah blah blah. But also news, like national news, like not just news of family and loved ones and friends, but like actual legitimate news we find out. So both, it's like a combination of both on social media. So it's such a vital part of our lives, and it's such a big part of what we use the internet for. If we didn't have social media, the internet's still motherfucking huge, but social media is like a good half of that. So there's a lot of people that would have been like, there's people that use the internet for business and etc. But you know, um, I feel like this was felt less and more, if that makes sense. It was felt by more people, but the severity of it was way less because it was social media. Whereas, um, if certain parts of the internet or just the internet went down, I feel like it would be way more impact. But well, it'd just be way more impact. Period. It was just funny how this. What am I trying to say? Not that many people maybe need. I guess that's a good argument. How many people need the internet to actually get uh like get through a day at work, or like actually use it for business or something, not just pure enjoyment of social media? Because that's what this whole thing was about. Oh, I lost my toy, social media. But like, how many people, if they couldn't send an email, if they couldn't download shit, if they couldn't have video chats, if they couldn't all these little things we use the internet for that we just take for granted, tons of things I'm probably not even thinking about. If that stuff was like, what if all emails got shut down or something? Um, versus like social media, which so we have so many different avenues like that can like we can communicate through email and we can communicate through social media. So if you shut down one or the other, it might not be so vital. But I'm just kind of thinking about if other things shut down, if people would really care near as much. I know YouTube is huge, and they said that I had a little trouble today. Google's huge. Um, but social media, man, that's a huge one for people. Information, but also pleasure. Um, so yeah, I don't know, man. I think I've rambled on about this just about as much as I can. Uh, but we read a couple good articles. It'll be interesting to see the more the politics ramp up, if this plays into it, or if this was strictly coincidence, if it was that EU thing. I hate to think that stuff that Europe is doing is affecting us like that. Maybe that's my American ego, or just I just wish we had security on lock, or that stuff they were like. I don't give a fuck if Facebook has to separate their shit over there. That's a them problem. I'm maybe in that. I feel like America needs to get back to putting America first. That's a kind of a political Donald Trump statement, but like, um, just localized in general. If you're worrying about something across the world that you're not even right with your family and yourself, then gotta kind of start at home, man in the mirror type shit. Uh, so whatever. I kind of got off topic right there, but it'll be interesting to see if this happens more in a political year, or kind of what it coincides with, because they're trying to play it off like it's next to nothing. But if this happens again, aligning with another political date or something, it's going to be hard for them to say that. Um, One other thing, the when the cell phone outage happened and those three major carriers were without service for like half a day, I want to say that guy on Pat Bet David was saying um, that right after that AT&T came through with like new security shit, like a bunch of new security shit. So it's like they're gonna say, "Oh, it was nothing, nothing happened, we didn't get hacked," and then but right after that, new security, like a lot of it. So that might be something I could pull up an article on. I don't know, it might be hard to find, but that's one of those things where like, okay, you're gonna say one thing and then do something that makes us think the exact opposite. Um, so I don't know. Let me see if I can find anything for that real quick. If you just want to hang tight, if anyone's filtering in late, kind of maybe go back and see what I said and see if there's anything you want to chime in on, or Joey, Josh, Dub, Tyler, if y'all want to call in and give y'all's 2 cents before I get out of here, let me know. So let me see, let me see, let me see. What was I gonna look up? Oh yeah, the cell phone outage. I feel like it was something else I was gonna look up. Hold on. That's right. I was gonna look up if AT&T really turn that off. If they really came in with any new security shit after that cell phone debacle on the 22nd. Hmm. If not, if not, I might have to pull up that Pat Bet David video and just get a little snippet, see if I can do it without them hating on your boy. I've had a couple. If you watch the channel and obviously I started off live streaming with the All Star Game, Saturday Night events, dunk contest, three contest, and skills, and then they, you know, rightfully so. I was pirating. They kicked the stream, and then since then I've tried to react to a few things, and I think there was something, but for sure the Joe Rogan, Cal Williams one, they were not having it. When I did more than like I think I was doing little clips, but then I did a 3 minute section without saying anything, and I think it was a no go. So trying to see if Hmm. Hold on, I found a article. I'm trying to see if it has anything we'd be interested in it. Hmm. It's really not saying too many things crazy. I don't even know. This is looks like holy. There's a whole thing on LinkedIn. I don't know who the hell typed that shit up. Um, I can't find anything right off the. Let me see. Hmm. I'm looking for the cell phone thing. I'm just not seeing much about. Um. Let me see. Let me see if I can pull up that Pat Bet David thing without getting my shit taken down. I just kind of want to round it out with a nice. It'd be nice if I could tie it together and kind of, well, not tie it together, but just show that AT&T took security measures after that would be a big deal because it admits that that was not just a that the cell phone outage for half a day on the 22nd was not just some overload system update blah 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 blah. It was actually, if they updated all their security right after that, it makes you think it's a hack. You know what I mean? And that kind of has implications to what happened today. We think both of them are just overloads or circumstantial or whatever, like we can explain it away some way. But if there's evidence that points towards cyber attack, you know, we should explore that option or at least flesh it out and see if that's a possibility. You know, that's what we're here to do. Wear the smoke, talk our shit. So let me see. I think I mentioned it a bit earlier, but I am watching through the Joe Rogan interview with Cat Williams, so I can highlight the pick my spots and get 30-second minute clips that I can watch, review, and that really get the most out of it because I can't just go through the whole thing. I already tried that; they took it down. So if y'all see this, get in the comments and let me know if y'all really are interested in seeing me break down the Joe Rogan Cat Williams interview. And uh, we could do it together. Y'all could get in the chat and tell me what y'all think and call in, and we could really break it down together and kind of give our 10 cents on it. But I don't know, something is not right with Cat Williams. He's not doing it for me. He's rubbing me the wrong way. So I kind of want to get a video going, get people in the chat, get people calling in, and really kind of get some thought going. Something's not right with this guy in my something's not rubbing him right with, or something about him is not coming across the way it's meant to be. Like I'm not buying what he's putting down. So hold on, I'm trying to. It's probably gonna be. Um, a while back because obviously the phones went down about 2 weeks ago. But I'm gonna see if I can find a little clip that we can go over, or that Pat Bet David, where they were talking about AT&T upping their security right after that, right after the cell phone outage. So if not, I might be about to round it out, kind of log off for the night. He had a decent stream, kind of fleshed it out, talked through it. No one really chimed in, which would have been good to kind of get someone else that I could bounce off of and go back and forth. But that's okay, you know. Let's see. I can't remember now. Was that cell phone thing after the Super Bowl? I feel like it was. Hmm. I'm looking. I'm looking at. I don't think I see it. I know they had a clip. Uh, Hold on. Here we go. Ooh. Here it is. I'm gonna play it. We're gonna have to be selective here because it's a 20-minute clip. But I'm gonna try to see if I can find the part where he talks about them enacting the laws the next day. So then we'll get out of here. I've been on for a decent amount, so. Yeah, Josh. The cell phone thing was 2 weeks ago. Um, but I was just drawing comparisons. I don't know how recent you are to the video, but I was just comparing the two, seeing if getting the audience's thought on if there was any like connection between the two, because both instances they're trying to just play off as like server overload, circumstance, blah blah blah. But it's like I was trying to say if we could find any kind of a thread where this one today happened on Super Tuesday where there's like all these primaries going on, which is a little suspicious. And then if we found out, I was about to react to a little bit of a PBD video if I can do it without getting kicked off. But I believe one of the guys on here says AT&T, and I was gonna try to see if he dropped a source that AT&T enacted some new security measures after that half day cell phone outage that was 2 weeks ago. So if that's true, it makes it seem like that's more than just a server overload or software malfunction or tower down type shit. It's like, okay, it seems like y'all are attacked if y'all are enacting a bunch of new security right after that. And that's what this guy on Pat Bet David is going to make the case for. But let me know if you want to call in. Let's see. All right, guys, put it up here. Let's see if I can navigate this smoothly without getting us kicked off here.
T-Mobile and Verizon users hit by massive cellular outage in the U.S. New York Post story, a major cell phone outage affected users across the U.S. early Tuesday, including myself. My phone still doesn't work. I can't text. I can't. And AT&T seemed to have experienced the largest number of issues with nearly 32,000 reports at 4:30 in the morning, more than 800 service outages.
I wonder what the real numbers were. Like, everyone, we should, man, I wonder, we should get a big Elon to do a fucking poll on Twitter and see how many people were affected by the fucking That's what he should do. Elon should be like, how many people were really affected by the outage, and get everyone to vote. No, people could lie, and they probably will. But fuck it. I want to see. I guarantee you it was more than 32,000. That's chicken shit numbers, bro. How many people live? Like that's just nothing. Yeah, Josh, that's true. That's what I was saying earlier too. Probably before you were on, like, um, this hack being on Super Tuesday doesn't seem so coincidental, and we're gonna. I was saying this year's already hectic with like a lot of things, but like especially with the cell phone thing and now this, we're gonna have to see that later on in the election when there's key points in the election, if social media is down or even if the whole internet's down, which would be crazy. So yeah, no, that's a good point. It often seems to be down around election or important events. So
Also at T-Mobile and Verizon, the program extended from New York, Boston, and Atlanta on the East Coast to Houston, Dallas, LA, Seattle, San Francisco, and even Montreal to Canada. A spokesperson for Verizon, however, told the Post its network is, and y'all have the
Phone's working.
okay.
Well, here's
go ahead.
well, Rob, I just sent you the article. This is a shout out to Brennan for sending this from Zero Hedge. Cell service outages reported across U.S. The website Down Detector, yeah, you can pull that up right there, has detected a surge in outage reports from users of AT&T, Verizon, T-Mobile, consumers in the morning.
Between what you're reading.
All East Coast,
got it.
basically.
So, by the way, if you're listening to
Here's
this,
the
who's
map.
affected by it? I'm curious. But Rob,
So I mean, hell, this map here is make it big for y'all. This is everywhere that matters. The whole friggin' East Coast, bunch of Chicago, Detroit, Minneapolis, and then some big blotches on the West Coast. You can't really even see where California starts and ends over here. I don't know what the hell kind of friggin' map this is. That you can't even. They shame on whoever published this without. Bro, something fucked up, but you could have went and fucking painted the oceans in better than that, my dude. Now that I'm editing and fine tuning shit behind the scenes, I'm gonna be critical of other people, like what they decided to put out as a finished product. But yeah, that map is like could be better. Anyway,
can you run a quick poll? Run a
It
quick
looks
poll.
like Atlanta.
what did I say? Run a poll. What did I say? Big Elon needs to run a poll.
North Carolina.
Right in the middle.
So, Tom, what are your thoughts on this year?
Well, we had some phone calls we had to make with an ill relative across the U.S. And it was about 3:30, and then this was like a switch.
Oh my goodness, he's gonna cry because someone need. Whatever.
It's like a switch got flipped. All of a sudden, our phones go to SOS. Kim and I are trying to call. And so I immediately start going onto Twitter, and I'm seeing more cities than this. I'm seeing people saying, I'm in the city, I'm in the city, I'm in the city. And it seemed to be AT&T first.
What would happen if the cell phones went down and like everything went down, bro? We'd go crazy.
And this is just me doing research, Pat, on Twitter, watching the live tweets come in, people saying, well, I said, I'm completely off the air. I'm in Greensboro. I'm completely off there. I'm in New York, New Jersey. It's and then somebody uses the word. My gosh, I think it's nationwide because we saw a Denver, Portland, Seattle, and we were looking at it. And so one of two things has happened here. We didn't lose internet because I was able to use Wi-Fi. Everybody across the USA was saying, hey, we got Wi-Fi. So guess what that means? That means the backbone Wi-Fi was still working and we didn't have power outage. So what is it? It's either control systems or cell tower software. So
Okay, I'm not as smart as this guy, but he's bringing down some knowledge for us.
somewhere there was a failure or an attack.
Oh,
and
weird.
it was not related to a power outage.
Nope.
And it was not related to an internet, a backhaul outage, because internet will have outage too, like a backhaul. And the internet is actually used to connect cell towers, sometimes fiber optics from tower to tower. So the whole network works. So my take on this, it appeared to be nationwide, and it sure seems like
So this guy's, excuse me. So this guy's saying it was nationwide, and because we still had internet and Wi-Fi, he doesn't think that affected that, which is smart. So this guy's at least giving us some kind of a starting point, which is cool. to like say, okay, he's really narrowing down the options and trying to say it almost. He's not saying it was an attack, but he's saying like that's a lot more likely than, it wasn't the internet, it wasn't this, wasn't that, it wasn't so. Which I'm not even totally understand how he's ruling this stuff out. I might go back but yeah, he's really breaking it down here.
It's internet. It was still working. Lose internet because I was wide because so I'm completely off there. I'm in Greensboro. I'm completely off there. I'm in New York, New Jersey. It's and then somebody uses the word. My gosh, I think it's nationwide because we saw a Denver, Portland, Seattle, and we were looking at it. And so one of two things has happened here. We didn't lose internet because I was able to use Wi-Fi. Everybody across the USA was saying, hey, we got Wi-Fi. So guess what that means? That means the backbone Wi-Fi was still working.
Wi-Fi's the backbone of this country now, God damn it.
And we didn't have power outage. So what is it? It's either control systems or
Oh, so he's saying it's not internet out, it's not the power out. That's basic stuff.
cell tower software. So somewhere there was backbone, Wi-Fi was still working, and we didn't have power outage. So what is it? It's either control systems or cell tower software. So somewhere there was a failure or an attack.
Oh,
and
weird.
it was not related to a power outage.
Nope.
And it was not related to an internet, a backhaul outage, because internet will have outage too, like a backhaul. And the internet is actually used to connect cell towers sometimes, fiber optics from tower to tower. So the whole network works. So my take on this, it appeared to be nationwide, and it sure seems like it's like a control software or cell tower software because we had power and internet coast to coast.
Okay. Well, simple but effective breakdown, and then I think I'm gonna let it breathe a little bit so we don't get taken down. But yeah, I think they're gonna go into this other guy's a little more fiery, but also this guy's like their middle right here. The other guy that has like his hair slicked back, he's more like their fiery right wing guy, and then Adam Sosnick is like the left guy, and then Pat Bet-David's kind of like the host. No, Oromo.
Well, Vinny, I'm sure you'll bring up the movie.
Leave the World Behind by the
I'll let you do that. But
Obamas. Yeah.
here's a story that was actually
This
a
is
couple days
sauce.
ago that we didn't get to cover on Tuesday. But Christopher Wray, who is the head of the FBI, China cyber attacks on U.S. infrastructure are about a Chinese cyber attack.
Thank you.
So it's kind of like, all right, we just talked about what's going on in San Francisco right here. FBI director says China cyber attacks on U.S. infrastructure are now at what? Unprecedented scale. I'll just read it real quick. Stating efforts to covertly plant offensive malware inside U.S.
If cyber attacks from China are at an unprecedented scale, how come we're not hearing about it like all the time? I don't know.
critical infrastructure networks is now at a scale greater than we've ever seen before, with concerns over the Volt Typhoon hacking network poised for potential disruption. He goes on to say that inserting offensive weapons within our critical infrastructure is poised to attack whenever Beijing decides that the time is right.
So the head of the FBI is warning us that China is trying to destroy us.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, they can do whatever dry run. Okay, Tom, I've been saying this for a long time. I predict there's going to be an attack in the near future. By the way, you see where the majority of those outages are? Right where Texas is moving up into the middle of America, okay? Thing. And I've said this before. Have you ever stopped at a four-way intersection and the light's not working? It's just flashing.
Chaos.
It's chaos. People are out of their cars fighting. Could you
doing
imagine?
this whole
Yeah,
thing.
everybody come in. Could you imagine for one moment everything just shuts off? Okay, and I'm telling you, if the FBI, Christopher
saying
Wray
this
is out
too.
there, Pat, going, oh, this is different. Then why the hell don't you go next door, talk to Mayorkas, that rat, and say you're letting them in? The border is wide open. So this.
Bro, he's a wide open border dude, though. Come on, bro. Wide open, really?
This is a BS. Hey, this is predictive programming, just like the Obamas did in the movie Leave the World Behind. They have to show you what they're going to do before they do. This was a test run. And
They do crooked shit like that, where they put stuff in movies, TV shows like The Simpsons, sitcoms. You know, the people that run this place are not, you know, they're not nice, and they're not what we think. So I don't know. I agree with some of the things this guy says, but some of the other things I don't. So, but this thing I kind of agree.
Nailed it, Tom. This wasn't a Wi-Fi power outage. No, this was I guarantee you this is going to be an attack. We're going to find. That's why they're not saying anything.
Hey, look, as a normal course of doing business, you do penetration tests. We did penetration tests on the Bamboo system that was at PHP. We want to make sure it's secure, that our agents' data is secure, and more importantly, the people that have insurance policies with tons of personal information is secure. Sarah?
I agree. I just, like I was saying at the beginning of this, how is banking so secure, but nothing else is? Is banking even really that secure?
Brin does, you pay them to try to attack your software, to try to do it. And what they've said, and I also know 2 executives at SentinelOne and 1 at CrowdStrike. These are all cybersecurity, and they always say there will be a moderate attack when they try to do it, or they will do like, financial criminals will test new types of emails and things to see if they can get a few consumers and believe that this was a little test for customers.
This is one question.
But they're right.
I got one question for you. Okay. So yesterday, I'm talking to Tiffany Justice Union in America, which is the teacher, and we're working on having some interest. Can somebody would need to be down, or maybe even a certain area where internet's not working in certain zip codes? How many zip codes would I need to destroy the internet for 24 hours to affect the election?
I think you only need 8 to 11% of total cell phones, and you need to hit the counties that are the swing counties.
Give me a zip code. How many zip codes?
I don't. I would probably bet there's probably 40. You know what I'm thinking?
Of course.
There's probably 40 zip codes, like in the swing areas of Pennsylvania, the swing areas of Ohio, the swing areas of Wisconsin, and certain parts. Florida is kind of swing. Certain parts of Florida, you probably have 40 zip codes where if you could impact those areas, you could prevent or influence the swing of those swing states.
Do you think that?
And there's the whole election.
Do you think that technology today exists by professional hackers, countries, China,
Pat Bet David asking the important questions. Pay attention.
Russia, or even some folks even internally here who are afraid of Trump taking over? Do you think that technology exists for them to shut down?
Bro, there's a virus going around in this country of people that hate Trump. And, like, I don't love him or hate him. I think he's just as crooked as all the other politicians, and I wish they all would get their ass kicked out of power and get their ass just destroyed. Pause. But these people that hate Trump more than the next politician or more than the next, they have this fever of hating him. It's like a disease, and it needs to go. It's almost more sick than he is. Anyway, side note that I've been feeling lately, I want to get off my chest.
Certain zip codes for 24 hours.
Yes, I do. And I think those countries would be secretly referring to it as a weapon system.
Perfect. So if you do believe that exists, guess what, folks?
And here we go. Countries could down stuff and view it as a weapon system. They said this 12 days ago. Shout out to Pat Bet David, Valuetainment, Sauce, and all them. This was after the cell phone outage for half a day. Now here we are, less than 2 weeks later, 12 days, and here we go on primary Super Tuesday. Social media is down. So, and that's a big place where people remind other people to vote. Not that that's right, but it is what it is. I don't know. What do y'all think about that? I don't know.
You have the right to be paranoid. That's it. You have the right to sit there and say, we get used to it, because maybe whatever the first Tuesday of November is, who knows? Now here's my other, this paranoid. That's it.
Countries would be secretly referring to it as a weapon system.
Perfect. So if you do believe that exists, guess what, folks? You have the right to be paranoid. That's it. You have the right to sit there and say, what's to it? Because maybe whatever the first Tuesday. Adam, I want your thoughts on this as well, okay? Say we go there. What does Tuesday fall on, Rob? What's the first Tuesday of November fall on? Say we go there, okay, and it's election day. We're doing a live podcast all day that day. We're going to be on from morning till 4 o'clock in the morning, just so you know. And we're going to sell tickets for that day. People are going to be at our place. What day does it fall on, Rob? November what?
Tuesday, November 5th.
Okay, Tuesday, November 5th it is.
Boy, he's gonna turn that election into his fucking, uh, not come up, but just he's gonna fucking love on that.
Okay. On that day, if towers went down in certain zip codes, if internet goes out in certain zip codes, if middle of the night we get a report that Michelle Obama won, or Newsom won, or Biden won.
What if stuff goes down and we get these reports, but it's fake, and then it well, I guess at that point the voting's over, right?
If all of those events happen simultaneously, and then mainstream media gets out, MSNBC, CNN, CBS.
What if they announced someone won preemptively and a lot of people just quit voting or didn't go to vote, and then it was not true, and then that ended up that would be the ultimate fuck you. If I'm so stupid that I don't remember how it works. They vote the day of, though, don't they? What if they did it on the day they were voting, though? No, that'd be impossible. Did they vote the final day? I think they do. Yeah. What if they announced on the final day of voting, like early, that someone had won, and then it was false? Boy.
ABC gets out and say, there's a lot of people that are speculating that because of cell phone towers being down and internet being down in certain zip codes, that is a total another conspiracy from the right-wing MAGA voters that are doing this. This was a one election America. What they said is they do not want another 4 years with Donald Trump. They want a peaceful last 4 years.
Hold on, and if anyone's still with me watching, I'm gonna go get a drink real quick, and then we'll finish out with this and in the stream. This is actually been a little bit better clip than I remembered, but it goes right in line with what we're talking about. So I'm gonna run and get a drink real quick. I'll be right back, and then we'll finish out the stream. All right.
Watch what's happened with the economy. If that were to happen, January 6th, they were worried about people going to, and what do they call it? Insurrection or whatever they call it.
Yeah.
What do you think would actually happen if all of those events happen on November 5th and they announced that Biden, Michelle, or Newsom won? If remember, this is not about if Michelle Obama, Newsom, or Biden won, but there's nothing with cyber attack. There's nothing with phones. There's nothing with internet. I'm saying if those two events happened, coincidentally, simultaneously, what would happen to America?
You're saying something very interesting because statistically speaking, there are more
Bro, that's a good what if.
mail-ins and ballot harvesting that happen for Democrat voters and Republican voters. More Republican voters are same-day voters or day of election voters, far more than versus Democrats. So
What if they announced that they won already, and then the same day voters just didn't go vote, and then it turned out to be a lie?
talking about something that would disproportionately impact the older Republican voters who are voting in person. And I think that you would have a January 6th at several state houses as the voters would be righteously feel like we got ripped off in Wisconsin.
Vinny, what would happen?
Personally, I would take to the streets. Me personally, as your friend, I'm telling you guys right now, because it would be enough is enough. Like, at what point, because I keep saying it, would the people get involved? And I think January 6th was such a setup that they made everybody, they pushed everybody into it. So now to stoke fear in the people, because there's people doing 20 years that didn't even show up. That's letting everybody know, don't you dare, no matter what the hell happens, don't you dare go to the White House. Don't you dare go to Congress. Don't you dare go to Washington. They want everybody to stay away.
You know you don't go against Uncle Sam. Don't you dare go up to that Capitol. Don't you dare cross those men with badges on. You know better than that. Don't you dare cross those men with robes on, with that fucking seal on their chest. Don't you dare. You know where the fuck you are? You think you're free. You think these people work for you? Boy. I would take to the streets seriously. Yeah, it'd be another setup, dude. You don't get it?
From Washington, what I would hope, what I think would happen, I think there'd be a lot of us, but I don't think there'd.
And don't get me wrong, I'm just as fed up with everything as this guy. But excuse me. But I just think, well, I know more or less that if you act on it in a way that he's talking about, you know, you're setting yourself up for failure. You're taking the bait, and this guy pretty much falls into like all the right wing Republican like stereotypes and like belief systems, but like I don't know. It's interesting because I agree with like a lot of the way he thinks and like a lot of his stances on topics and issues, but. And I find myself resonating more with right-wing people than left-wing people, but there's just certain things I can't get on board with, and obviously I remove myself from the whole thing, and I have for years. But I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Going to the streets would be terrible, and it's like he doesn't see Trump's a puppet to get people like him worked up, thinking he's on your side and stuff. I don't know. Hit him with the Joe. It's deep. It's deep, man. It's so deep. The deception is so deep. But you know, if you're a Trump supporter, I really urge you. Question if you knew this man, really, really knew this man, and he was someone from your town. Because there's someone in your town that's like Trump a little bit, maybe, or a lot of bit. Do you know someone like this? Or if you don't, envision knowing Trump, but like on a smaller level, like in your town. Would you be friends with this guy who thinks he's the greatest thing to ever shit in a toilet bowl, and he's not? You know, pretty judgmental, shits on people when they don't do what he wants and go his way, and, you know, been rich his whole life and really had to work very little for it. Is this someone that you like and know and want to be around? He's like a brat. Like, nobody likes these kind of people. So I would just, you know, and I'm not a Trump hater like the people on the left, because those, like I said earlier, that almost irks me more than any, like, the Trump character. It does, in fact. But, like, it irks me more than a lot of other things. So I'm not a Trump hater. But, like, on the same note, Trump supporters, like I just said, you know, think about it. So I got medicine for both sides. Everybody can get it type shit.
Be enough because the other side would play the whole, oh, you guys are, come on, we had a power outage, you know, on this month. You guys are conspiracy theorists. But I would hope, my hope is that the majority of people would say, no, enough is enough. There's no writing on the wall. They're doing it in front of your face, and I'd hope that people would take to the streets. Because I would tell you, I would get up, Pat, I'm not even joking, and I'd be like, I'm going to go on the streets. We have to fight.
Who are you fighting? If you go out on the streets, who are you fighting? Come on, bro.
That's when you have to fight, or else we're going to lose it all. Period. You got it.
Okay, so but I'm not trying to say what you're going to do. I want to know, what do you think will happen with America if that were to take place?
Yeah, well, you know, there's this whole conversation of how close is America to a civil war.
So too.
I agree.
It'd be very scary. We saw what happened during COVID. People, it's the first time.
I really am hoping this guy that was just talking is going to chime in about the AT&T security thing that like I thought he did. But if he doesn't, that's fine. This is still not a bad clip at all to go with our episode tonight.
It's ever happened in 100 years, some sort of,
Shout out to
you know,
DVD and
world
the
pandemic
boys.
like that. People didn't know what to do. And then
We
people,
got Adam Sauce, who's right here. Pat McDavid, obviously, is the host. Tom Ellsworth and Vincent Oshana. Shout out to these gentlemen.
people started wising up and being like, hold on, what? You know, and it happened at different parts where people's, so in order for me to keep my job, I have to get vaxxed. So I could walk in the gym. I have to have a mask on to walk in the gym. I can go in the gym. I could work out, sweat, breathe, and then I have to put the mask on to leave the gym. So, something's not adding up here.
Right.
I think people are going to would be completely bananas and take to the streets, and we'll see what happens with that.
Question to you though: Would you support them? Because Adam, you yourself would be like, okay, this is but beyond fishy. We know exactly what they're doing. Who knows who helped them? China probably wasn't.
This is a.
Think about it. The last time Trump was about to win again, Trump held China accountable for trade.
I don't think this is about support.
No.
I think this is about. This is about you're at a bar, okay?
Yep.
And a guy, first time, he does it again. Okay. Doing that. Every single, it's going to be, okay? There's
Trump is not the enemy. Sometimes it's going to take something disastrous from an outside force, from a foreign actor, from an enemy who will galvanize America and say, you know what? Maybe this freaking guy, Trump, is not the bad guy. And maybe it works on the other side as well. Hey, maybe the nominee on the other side.
Adam, I'm just telling you, I've been talking to people that lean left, have left ideology, whether they admit it or not, I can tell. They're not going to fucking, no matter what, support him. They have been, it's a disease, bro. The Trump hate is a fucking disease. It's a virus. Once people are infected with it, I don't know, man.
Isn't as evil as I thought he was. I mean, if you're just looking at these, we're talking about the power outage. To go back to that, some of the highlights. FBI Director Wray says China cyber attacks on U.S. infrastructure are now at unprecedented scale. Another story, Russia's nuclear space weapon, a risk for all. That's according to the German Space Command Force. You know, you see stories like Sam Altman. You know, a lot of this stuff could be done via AI. What's going on here? You see Sam Altman, who's worth billions of dollars, is a quote-unquote doomsday prepper with a stash of guns and gold. The guy leading the AI charge is a doomsday prepper. You see the story about Mark Zuckerberg. Didn't he just buy $150 million? Pretty scary. There you go. Inside, and then he died. I mean,
it was the number.
Story before at a now he goes, listen, our power grids, cyber warfare.
Well, they didn't mention the little thing I was looking for, but overall, pretty good clip that kind of went with what we were talking about. So, you know, I didn't get as much chat reaction or interaction as I would have liked. Nobody called in tonight, but held it down one deep, kind of covered the topic. I feel like I could definitely get better being a little like, you know, finding some more funny shit to spice up the live and shit. But, you know, I'm giving my input. I'm analytical. That's kind of my stilo. So, maybe next time I'll get one of the homies to call in. That'll be really good because then I can bounce off of them and, you know, get some humor involved, get some back and forth and other ideas other than just my own voice and what I'm saying. And, but anyway, I think we covered the topic pretty good. If you see the rebroadcast, get in the comments. Let me know what you think about the outage. You know, was it just a routine thing? Was it an attack from another country? Was it them just updating their shit and it kind of didn't go the way they wanted, so they had a hiccup? Was it aliens? What the fuck was it? Let me know. And let me know what y'all want to see on future live streams. I'm going to keep doing this shit. Hopefully I can get better. You know, the topics are on point. It's just going to be whatever's in the news and shit that's interesting and y'all want to hear about. So get in the comments. Let me know what y'all want to hear on future live streams. Like, comment, subscribe. Obviously, I'm telling y'all to comment, but, you know, like, subscribe. You know, we got big things coming up. Like I said just now, I'm going to keep live streaming. We're coming with another episode, obviously, this week. I think we're going to try to live stream this week's episode with the homie Josh. And we probably are even going to have Matt back this week. So that'll be a dope episode, the live stream. And then I don't want to speak too soon, but we might have something coming up for South by Southwest. So that would be hella dope. If we got that shit, that would be a big look for us. And I think we're up for it. We've had several episodes in a row that have been to a good quality that I'm happy with, that we're putting out. The topics and stuff we have in every episode, I feel like even when we're lacking, when I go back and watch the episode, I'm like, even when I leave an episode, I'm like, damn, that one wasn't as good as like the prior one. Like after I leave the filming, once I'm editing it and watching it back and posting it, I'm like, you know what, this one wasn't bad. Like we had good topics. The conversation didn't like stop at a crazy point. Blah blah blah. Like I'm happy with the product we're putting out. You know, after the first 3 or 4, we got the video and sound where I kind of want it. I still need to get solid set of headphones so that we don't have the echo whenever we're doing video reacts with Josh and the crew. And then I might be looking at some kind of setup where I can have more than 4 mics, so that when we do big interviews or party podcasts or whatever experimental shit, we can push the limits with 8 mics. That'd be dope. So just kind of giving y'all insight to my mind and what I'm looking forward in the future. You know, something distant future is multiple camera angles potentially. I could look at a live streaming to multiple platforms. I don't know if that's as important right now. But you know, we have several more interviews. I've been teasing the G Dollar one heavy. We're super excited for that one. Like I said, he wanted to have a few additional of his homies on, and that is no problem. So we're gonna get extra mics to make that happen. And other than that, we have several other guest interviews that are coming up that are gonna be dope as well. So, you know, just stay tuned. That's all I can say. We got a lot of shit planned for 2024, and most of the stuff I'm thinking of is like first half. So second half of the year, we don't even know. Upwards and onwards. It could be some crazy type shit. So y'all stay tuned. But I think I'm gonna end the stream off there. Hopefully next time one of my homies will call in and shit. But you know, other than that, LOG out with the smoke.